Hello and welcome to the first video in the series that we are loosely, tentatively calling A Tale of Two Brothers. With me today is someone you won't have seen yet, is my brother, Sam, who will be joining me in his somewhat recent-ish addition to the plastic crack addiction game that is 40k. Plus others. You've got other stuff as well, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a little bit of Sylvaneth in there, yeah.
What is A Tale of Two Brothers? You've probably heard of or familiar with the tale of insert number of gamers, usually four or two, dependent on where you see things. We both kind of had some armies that we were looking to complete, and kind of together was like, well, why don't we do this together? We've got some stuff. Let's finish it off, get playable armies, and we can make a thing from it. So this is pretty much what we are doing. I'll go over the rules very quickly, and then we'll go through the lists that we've put together based on what we have or what we would like to have, and then what we have both decided to pledge to do in the first few months of this challenge. The goal over the course of the year to collect, assemble, and paint a 2,000 point army each. We are going to commit to painting 500 points, give or take 5-10 points. It's hard
As
to
close
get
as we
them
can
to.
get.
Yeah, it's hard to get them to line up completely. Especially if you break it down to monthly, because it works out at like 166 points per month, which is even harder to do. We have no restrictions on what we are going to base the models. You could just use some texture stuff on there, or you could go all out. Just the more you do, the longer it's going to take to do. No restrictions on kit bashing either. So if you have an idea and you want to go out or go all out, go for it. If you are joining in with us or want to do something similar, it doesn't have to be a brand new army. We're not getting a brand new army. We're just fleshing out what we have. Stuff that's already part painted counts as long as you complete it within your thing, your pledge. Things that you, if you are going to join in on this, you might want to consider. There is a new edition coming out this year, potentially end of spring, sometime in summer. Rumored to be Space Marines, obviously, versus Orcs. One of us potentially could be impacted by that, at least, in terms of, of what we might be collecting. But that is not you. You will be
No, so,
collecting Nid.
a Xenos of a different flavour.
Yes. Would you like to go through your list?
If the background was not spoiler enough, and as just previously stated, the army that I will be literally and metaphorically fleshing out will be Tyranids. First started collecting Imperium, and then realized what I love the Zerg in StarCraft 2. Why have I not got more Tyranids? So when John came to me with this idea, I was like, well, that's a good opportunity to do exactly that. So currently, I have one Broodlord, one Neurotyrant, a Winged Tyranid Prime, a total of 30 Termagants, and we have 5 Barb Gaunts, 8 Gene Stealers, 10, technically 11 Neurogaunts with the Node Beast in there, Psychophage, 5 Ripper Swarms in total, and Screamer Killer, and then 3 Von Ryan Leapers. Basically a mismatch of previous Combat Patrol and Leviathan Box. That's kind of where we have already. To flesh out the list completely into that nice, juicy 2,000 points, we're going to be adding in the Parasite of Mortrex, a Turbogon, 1 Biovore, an Exocrine, 10 more Gene Stealers, a Norn Emissary, and 3 Tyrant Guard. And that should be I think it works out like 1975, so it gives a little play for some enhancements and stuff across there to hit that nice 2,000 point sweet spot.
That's not bad. So you're going to be out by the end of the year. What, 250 for the rest of the
Yeah,
army? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So the plan is that I'll be picking up the current version of the Combat Patrol, which will get me the Parasite and Mortrex, the Biovore, the Gene Stealers, and the Tyrant Guard. And then it's just a case of getting the remaining big beasties
Mm-hmm.
in the non-emissary, the X Queen, and the Turvicon, and then that is me. Bosh, done.
We'll put these lists, by the way, somewhere. I don't know if there will be like a list in the background, and you won't have to look at our faces talking for a little bit. Maybe we'll just be like mini us talking through these. I don't know. I haven't decided yet,
Okay.
but
No,
um,
here.
somewhere will be the list for reference.
Uh-huh.
I remember you saying that the start collecting combat patrol box thing for NIDS was kind of a bit awkward unless you were planning to flesh it out.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that kind of suffers from being a bit of a hodgepodge combat patrol of not really a good start collecting point because there's not a lot of synergy across the
Mm-hmm.
units it does give you. Like you have the Tyrant Guard or Hive Guard, but there's nothing to lead them.
They don't have anything to guard.
Um, yeah, there's a Biovore, which is well great. They're just a lovely little point score unit, shooting spore mines 40 odd inches across the map. Um, so they're good as a solo piece anyway. But again, not great by themselves. They're good as an addition to an army.
A complimentary thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Gene Stealers and stuff, rather than any other kind of gaunts and stuff, without having, and then there being a Parasite in Mortrex rather than a Broodlord in there to lead the Gene Stealers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bit of yeah
Fair.
mismatch and not a lot of maybe not a lot of thematic synergy. Like you could build, like you could run it as a list absolutely with that as the in the combat patrol style, and it would work.
Very iconic
And-
units, but not necessarily those that synergize well. I think is
Exactly,
yeah.
and it's kind of yeah. Just I think it's one of those ones that's like here's some leftover models that we've not been selling so well, so let's just shove them in a box somewhere.
Isn't that just what the combat patrols are all about, though? It's just like here's the
Yeah,
chaff. Like we'll
uh-huh.
try and make something from it.
Exactly.
My list, again, I don't know if this is a good list or not. It's more based on the things that I like, and I wanted to kind of present um, that kind of three-pronged approach that the Dark Angels have. You know, they've got the Green Wing, they've got the Raven Wing, they've got the Death Wing. So they kind of have the variety, and you can focus in on those and make armies built around each of them individually. But I think it's more interesting when you've got a bit of variety. So my list is Azrael, Belial, the Lion. Well, I don't know if you.
You have to.
I think he's an auto include now, but I know he went through like a shaky time where it was a bit sketch if you wanted to.
I think when he released, it was a little weak in some areas, and then he had a big glow up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He the old man is one I'm looking forward to doing definitely.
Mm.
So yeah, Lion. I have an apothecary biologist. Mainly because the synergy with them with other stuff, not because I particularly like the model. But anyway, I have a captain in Gravis armor. I have a chaplain on a bike. I have two 5-man intercessor squads. I have an aggressor squad, which I believe is the preferred choice of accompaniment to the apothecary, because weird fire link up stuff. I found it on
Okay.
Reddit. It looked interesting. I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
I have a Blade Guard veteran squad. They are very cool units. Maybe not quite as cool as the Inner Circle companions, but I have a unit of those as well. There is a squad of Deathwing Knights, as well as a Deathwing Terminator squad, a Hellblaster squad, as I said, Inner Circle Companions, 2 units of 3 Outriders, and a Storm Speeder Hellstrike. So the
Speed of the Raven.
Speed of the Raven. I put the Speeder in there because it supposedly has good synergy if it hits something. It doesn't have to wound it, but if it hits, it makes other things better at hitting said thing.
Sure.
So that was my thinking on that. And yeah, like the Blade Guard veterans might not be a popular choice, but I really do like the model. I also like the Inner Circle Companions. I think they're very cool, and there's wiggle room for me to potentially have 2 Inner Circle Companions instead of the Blade Guard veterans. But Blade Guard veterans is what you get in the Combat Patrol. So going through,
I'm generally a sucker for a sword and board combo anyway, in any setting, whether it's a power sword or just your regular iron sword. It's just aesthetically, well,
it hits that sweet spot. It's very good.
hell yeah.
So what I have already is the Apothecary Biologist, Azrael, Belial, the Gravis Captain, the Lion, the 2 5-man Intercessor squads, the Blade Guard squad, the Hellblaster squad, and the Inner Circle Companions. So I have a bit more, I think, of a to yet to buy list than you do. I'm just trying to think, like, off the top of my head.
Maybe individual model count.
Well, the Terminators are about 40 quid each. So,
right.
Wow, here's a caveat to this. Now, I want to make this like a Primaris army. I already have a squad of Deathwing Knights and a squad of Deathwing Terminators, but they are firstborn, or whatever the appropriate term is for the Terminators. So, and the new ones, they look really good. So I'm kind of tempted to be like a stickler to buy just the new stuff in the army and use the other one to go with all my older stuff, which I also have a firstborn small army of these as well. So maybe we'll just do that. I don't know. Aggressors is what, 30?
We have to see
35?
how much in the lore they merge firstborn squads and Primaris squads.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know if that is, they keep it.
I think it's about 250 as well, thereabouts. Storm Speeders are 40-50 quid. The bikes are about 40 quid each, although I could probably pick them up secondhand for a lot cheaper on eBay because they were part of the Imperium mags, so I've seen them go for a little bit cheaper. The Terminators and the Deathwing Knights, they're about 40 quid each, and I think the Aggressor's probably around that ballpark. The Chaplain on the bike is about 30 quid. So
right.
What's that? Okay, maybe a bit more than you. I think about 260, 270-ish before discounts on
Yeah, but between
like
that
Element.
250 to 300 mark,
Yeah.
falling in between there somewhere. So the general pledge that we are going to be aiming for is, as I said, about 500 points every quarter. Just to hit us that 2,000 points at the end of the year. So in order to make up that for my quarter one, I have selected, and this is where I've kind of done myself dirty with picking Tyranids as a faction to flesh out.
All the Gribblies.
Yeah, because as other Nid players will know, is that it's a lot of little guys that make up a Tyranid list. I mean, you certainly could go Crusher Stampede and just bring a lot of big boys, but alas, this is what we have chosen. So for my quarter one, what we're pledging to do is the Broodlord, the Winged Tyranid Prime, at least 10 Termagants, 8 of the Gene Stealers, possibly maybe squeeze that up to 10. We'll see, and just make it a nice easy 10, or do 9 and 9 with how many I've got in there. We'll figure that out when we get there. Points wise, it's the same, so I might cheat myself a little bit. Then the rest is the Ripper Swarms. I feel like that's getting a chunk of the chaff done early,
Mm-hmm.
whilst motivation's still high, morale is still high,
Yeah.
and then just kind of break it up quarterly, doing something fun like the characters, some of the bigger guys, and mixing in then the rest of the chaff each quarter. And that takes me, I think it's about 515 points worth of
Ooh,
stuff
you're
for quarter
banking
one
15 points for whenever you need it. Yeah.
for when my sorrows are too
I think
much to
15
bear.
points is what, 3 gaunts maybe? You just be like, I could just deal with that some other time. Mine's pretty straightforward. The combat patrol, for which a lot of people don't like, but I'm kind of alright with it. Which consists of the Gravis Captain, the 10 Intercessors, the Blade Guard, and the Hellblasters, comes to 430 points. So essentially, that plus the Apothecary, Biologus, that one. The new one that's carrying the gene seeds thing is 70 points exactly. So that's like a sweet bang on
Nice.
500.
On the money.
And in terms of model count, I think it's 20. I don't know what yours comes to. Might be close.
25.
Okay.
So model count actually surprisingly close
Yeah,
for
you don't have edge highlighting up the wazoo to do on all the all the Marines.
just a little down flick on some carapace and that'll do me.
So one of the other things, I don't think we've covered it, is that the intention is to have a battle ready army. There's no obligation for us to be going crazy with the painting. It's to get stuff done, ready to play on the table. If you want to go a bit extra, by all means. I probably will be. I'm a little bit more experienced in the painting department.
That's putting it very lightly.
So
someone who's been in the hobby for
me,
yeah.
I rejoined the hobby in 2014. So just a casual 12 years now. Jesus.
Okay, maybe asking this question was a mistake. we're now bordering existential crisis.
Oh God. Yeah. So I have a little bit of experience, and I do some tutorials on the channel and stuff. So my painting can be pretty decent. I don't know if I want to paint everything to a high standard. Maybe just focus on some of the character models or the units that I like that are smaller.
Just for contrast as well, in terms of experience, there's a plethora of completed models and stuff over your time hobbying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more that aren't, but yes, for sure. There are. Yeah.
I have in my hobbying experience of I don't even know how long, not that long, have one battle ready model.
Oh, okay. But this is the motivation you need, right? to commit and get stuff done. So that's that. If you are painting along, I will be posting updates over on my Instagram. I'll put a link to that down below. Obviously, we'll be doing quarterly updates. Maybe like this, maybe face-to-face. We'll see if we can get, maybe not face-to-face, but in person is what I meant to say. And the quarterly updates will basically be bringing along what we've managed to achieve in that pledge. And I'm going to put it out there that if you don't manage to do that pledge, carry over for the next one.
Over for the next one.
I like
does that work both ways then? If by some miracle complete your pledge a week in advance or a couple of weeks in advance, you can get a kickstart on the.
I think so. Yeah.
Quarter 2 pledge.
I think if you are just vibing, you've had like 15 cans of Monster, and you've just got, you're
get 30 Termagants.
You're just jonesing for some Termagants. Like if you get it done, you knew where I was going with that. Yeah, do it. do it. Why not?
Cool.
The object is to have at least 500 points done every quarter, and if you go over, bank it for the next quarter. Just, who knows? You maybe have issues. You maybe have some impact to your time, and if you, I'm a firm believer that you do your best stuff when you're actually in the zone, like when you're feeling it. And if you feel like you're like, you know what, I've got a week off coming up and I can just blast through a bunch of stuff, do it. Why not? Why not? I think the only other thing really to cover is some of the other things that will be going alongside this. So I intend to do a weekly, very casual, sort of, I loosely call it like a Wednesday workshop or something, where I will sit down, I will go live, and we'll do some work on whatever my pledge is for that period of time. I will try to do that weekly, but if I'm not particularly feeling it, I want to paint off camera, I'll stick to that, but I will try to keep going to that.
In a similar vein, I'll hop in and out,
Yeah, absolutely.
joining you on those Wednesdays.
We did sit down, we did work it out that if every quarter it works out at about 26 hours of painting over that. So if we do it weekly, which is a lot of time actually when it comes to, you could easily get a combat patrol painted in a day, right, if you worked at it. And if it's only going to be battle ready, you could do that realistically. So when you break it down, that's at least enough of a commitment to get the baseline done, I would say. We'll see how that works out in reality, but the theory's good. I think we would like to have a battle at the end of it once we've got our full 2,000 points up and running.
For sure.
And to do that, we would need to have a mat to play on, somewhere to play, terrain to play on, and that kind of thing. So throughout the year, there will be updates on the hobby progress on that front. I do plan to make an area and have some other bits and bobs going. So, themed terrain, Nid terrain's very straightforward to do. You can do terrain spires, you can do spawning pools, you can do kind of infested, going off the Zerg theme, you can have like infested buildings and things like that. And I think that works really, really well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. So yeah, we'll put the lists somewhere below so you can see them as well. If you're going to join in or you like this idea, feel free to comment below, and like the video, subscribe if you haven't, all the usual YouTube platitudes, and we will see you when we see you. All right, toodaloo, goodbye, thanks for watching.